I got a lot of things I want to say to some of the Steelers fans that I saw after the game 2 days ago, but I'll try and keep it simple. I heard a lot of you Steelers fans playing the "Oh woe is me, how miserable I be." Um, I should just commit suicide. This is miserable. This is horrible. I can't take this anymore. Shut your hole. If you want a championship in the last 5 years, I don't want to hear it. I really don't. And it's really, really pathetic that you guys are playing this whole woe is me thing. So I don't want to hear it. Bengals win 23-20. Great game. They came back in the fourth quarter. Um, I didn't get a chance to watch this game, so there's really not too much I can say, but it's looking like 2006 all over again. It's the disease of more. I can't remember who talked about it initially. I think it was Pat Riley, but he coined the phrase the disease of more. It happens to some teams after they win the championship, you know. They start thinking, what can I do to get more money, more stats, more attention, more fame? It becomes less about winning a championship. And, you know, these last two games, they found ways to give away games in the fourth quarter, games that they would have won last year, but this year they're not looking like a very good team. And I don't know specifically what it is, because if you look at this game on paper, they played well. I mean, Roethlisberger played well. He did have the one bad interception that really changed the game at the start of the second half. The pick six, obviously, but he played well. The receivers were dropping some passes, but they also made some plays. The running game worked. The defense didn't force a turnover, but they did, you know, get some decent pressure. Really, this comes back to the turnover issue. I mean, it is largely a Troy Polamalu issue. If they have him back, maybe they force some turnovers, but if this is one of the greatest defenses of all time, like some people would tell you, this defense needs to find a way to get it done without him. And so it's really not an excuse. It's something they got to figure out, because they're not going to have him next week. And I'll tell you right now, I think San Diego should win that game, no problem. Even if Troy plays, I might pick San Diego, but without him, forget about it. So, you know, Cincinnati's looking like a playoff team right now. They're looking like the second best team in that division. I mean, they are a fluke play away from being 3-0 right now. So, I don't know. I'm not totally sold into it, because, you know, oddly enough, the biggest wild card on that team is Carson Palmer, which is bizarre to even think about. Miami, San Diego. Miami, I know you have some talent, but again, you're 0-3, bye. And I heard Pennington is out for the year. That's awful, but he is so important to that team that now I think Chad Henne is going to go in, and that's going to be a complete disaster. So, you know, if Pennington does not get hurt in this game, I think Miami would probably win. That's how I honestly feel, but he's out. He didn't play in that game. He's not going to play the rest of the year, it sounds like, so that's all water under the bridge. So, San Diego really struggled early on. They really looked listless out there, and they were fortunate that they were able to play a bad team that lost their starting quarterback in the middle of it, and that really cleared the way for them to have a chance to even win this one at all. And I'm looking at the San Diego team, and I'm really starting to think, I think it's the coaches. I think this coaching squad is really starting to just bleed the ability to win off this squad. I mean, these last 2 years, they've managed to overcome it. Not by much, but they were able to overcome it, and now it's looking like maybe it's starting to slip away from them. So it's going to be up to Phillip Rivers to just completely take over this team and refuse to let them lose. And he did play well 2 days ago, but he's going to have to do a lot more than that. Denver, Oakland. Last time I bet on Jamarcus Russell, and in all honesty, I knew he was bad when I picked the Raiders to win this game, but I forgot how awful he is, and I don't even know if he has a future anymore. He is so ridiculously inaccurate. It is becoming hilarious. It is comical how bad he is. And obviously the rest of the offense isn't much better, but, you know, that defense is being wasted because they are playing tough. They're not always playing great, but they man up. They say, I'm going to beat you one-on-one. They just hit you in the mouth, and they just get it done by playing basic football. And they're wasting that right now because they're doing a pretty good job of that. I mean, 23 points is not great, but when your offense is this bad, you're going to have to take it. 23 points when your offense is that bad is awesome. So big ups to that Oakland defense. They got them playing the right way. Wish I could say the same about the offense. Denver. You know, whatever you want to say about them, they're 3-0. Their defense is playing top-notch football. It doesn't matter who they played. Their defense is playing excellent right now. I mean, they only gave up 7 points to Cincinnati, and last I checked, Cincinnati lit up Green Bay and Pittsburgh's defense, so don't say too much bad about them. Colts and Cardinals. You know, a lot of people had the Cardinals winning this game. The Colts were actually underdogs. I saw a lot of people picking the Cardinals. That just shows you how good Manning is, because I watched this whole game and he made some insane throws. I mean, the pick was, you know, his arm got hit, it just popped up in the air and somebody caught it like a punt. Other than that, he was so money. Early in the game, the Colts were running the ball a lot, not really getting any yards on the ground, trying to be conservative, and it wasn't working. And then they just let Peyton go at it, and he destroyed Arizona. It was amazing to watch. The touchdown to Reggie Wayne was a good throw, but it was an amazing catch. If you haven't seen it yet, go find it. It's an amazing catch. The touchdown to Pierre Garçon is sick. Dallas Clark is looking like he could break some tight end records this year, because he's becoming a premier, making his case for being one of the best tight ends in the league. Because before we always knew, oh yeah, he can catch, but is he a complete tight end, or is he a good enough receiver to be an elite tight end? And he's starting to show it that he's really, really going to have a great year if he stays healthy, and I'm very excited to see it. I mean, I had Jason Witten pegged to have a legendary tight end season, but it's looking like it's going to be Dallas Clark who puts up the legendary tight end season. Oh yeah, Adai caught the other touchdown, and later in the game, the Colts found a way to run the ball really effectively. I was impressed. They ran the ball really nicely against the Cardinals, and Donald Brown had the long run after the catch. That was sweet. He almost got in the end zone. Donald Brown's really making some nice rookie contributions. It's under the radar stuff, but he is making plays, and you know, when you're a team like when you're a team like Indianapolis, that's all you need from your rookies sometimes. So they're clicking. I know Freeney's out for 2 to 3 weeks, but that's not a big deal. They lose him for the game against us, the Tennessee game, and the bye, and maybe the Rams game at worst. You could not ask for a better chance to lose better time to lose one of your best players. The only thing that sucks is that he was injured at the end of the game when it was pretty much over. I mean, he shouldn't have been pulled. It was too early to pull your best players, but it sucks that he had to go down like that. And, you know, Arizona, you know, I think we figured them out. They beat up on Jacksonville, probably one of the worst teams in the league. Warner is really tough to watch this year. I mean, he didn't play awful yesterday, but he's making some throws that regular Kurt Warner doesn't make. And, you know, once again, I got to look at Matt Leinart. Sorry, I got to do it. I mean, when are we going to see this guy? Because Warner is not going to last much longer in this league. That's just how it is. So he's already looking like the wheels are falling off. So maybe you got to move on. See if Leinart's improved at all. Dallas, Carolina, to wrap this up. Awful game. I had the worst primetime game I've seen all year by far. The first half was painful to watch. I took the under on the points, so I was happy, but it was terrible to watch. But, you know, the second half was better, admittedly, but I still was not too impressed with the way this game played out. Dallas really looked bad in the first half, but they came around, and that defense finally got some sacks. And Victor Butler, Terrence Newman, you guys won me one of my fantasy games, so thank you very much. You know, Victor Butler, those sacks at the end of that forced fumble pretty much won me my fantasy game, so thank you. And Newman, I couldn't have done it without your pick six either. Thank you. So, I don't really know what to make of this. I don't think either of these teams look that good, but, you know, Dallas is 2-1, so they have more than enough opportunities to turn into a really good team. I mean, they ran the ball really well, and then when they get to the goal line, they pass it twice in a row, which is... There's no bigger clown than Jason Garrett right now, and I think a lot of Cowboys fans would agree with me. Felix, I don't know what's up with him, but he's looking like he's an injury-prone kind of guy, and it's going to be awful for Cowboys fans trying to root for this guy, knowing how good he is, but then he always gets hurt. If that's how it's going to be, that's going to be rough. In Carolina, I heard some excuses for Jake Delhomme last night, but he played bad, and I think it's time to move on. I mean, Carolina's done. They're finished. Their season's over. Move on to Matt Moore. See if he can give you anything over the course of 13 games. Why not? You have nothing to lose. This season is in the toilet. You can forget about it. I want to see some Matt Moore. I want to see better play calling because D'Angelo and Stewart need a lot more carries. I mean, the game plans these last 2 games from Carolina have been atrocious. Just really, really bad. That's it for week 3. I'm done. See you guys later this week. I got a lot of things I need to say.